If a boy and a girl are best friends for a very long time, they should marry each other.
प्यार क्या है?
प्यार दोस्ती.
Those dating apps mostly are for hookups. Then where do you meet? Do you meet them in a bar? Ridiculous.
Why marriages are failing today?
पहले के जमाने में शादी तो होती नहीं थी, लेकिन उस टाइम पे भी मर्द और औरतें एक साथ रहते थे. They were having sexual relationships with them. लेकिन कोई कमिटमेंट नहीं थी. Humans decided कि हमको एक कुछ तो स्क्वायर चाहिए which will define humans relationship. That is how marriage as an institute came about. So is it bad? Absolutely no. Because उससे social order तैयार.
Why is the institution of marriage now breaking down today?
यही मेरे दादा ने किया है, मेरे परदादा ने किया है, इसके लिए आप शादी करो. नो. अगर समझो मुझे दीपिका पादुकोण से शादी करो, I feel Deepika Padukone is the best wife for me. But if I have to marry Deepika Padukone and my height says 5 feet 2 inches, my weight is 100 kg, do you think Deepika Padukone will be a good fit for me?
But a lot of people are saying that okay, I don't want to get married now. I'll defer it. मैं देखता हूँ, करता हूँ. I'm not ready. I'm not. I don't know if I'll find a compatible partner.
I always asked a question: extramarital affairs क्यों होते हैं? Just because the other partner is more beautiful? I'll tell you, majority of the extramarital affairs happen with people who are not beautiful.
When the couple gets bored of each other, then they basically approve of extramarital affairs for each other.
There are certain marriages which last for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and then they start, crumbling down. Divorce, I don't think is a bad word. But again, why you separate should also be thought about.
Before you came, I actually was very intrigued by this question and I googled it. What is the right age to marry? Namaste and welcome to this episode of the Oddcast Show. The platform Oddcast has been started by my son and me to talk anything that's odd but relevant. It's a father-son podcast where we're talking about very, very strange and odd topics. And today's topic is really odd because where I come from, the institution of marriage was a wonderful institution in my era. And for today's generation, it's become sort of a very odd topic. The fear of commitment, marriage, etc. is sort of, taking a backseat. In my era, it was the thing to do.
Everyone these days keeps talking about marriage and when to marry and all of that. I mean, even my dad keeps telling me about it. However, I know very little about it. So today we are joined by Dr. Sagar Pathak ji to talk about marriage and when to marry.
So, sir, welcome to the show. How are you feeling?
It's great. See, first of all, जो आपका नाम है ना शो का ऑडकास्ट शो, तो आज कुछ तो ऑड बोलना है.
आज तो बहुत ऑड बोलना है.
So that's going to be really great. Thank you for having me, both of you. I really feel good, कि father and a son doing a podcast together is become a rarity. मतलब podcast तो छोड़ दो यार, बाजू में बैठने को. So it really feels good having.
आप लड़ाई तो नहीं करवा दोगे
ना? Now that's odd,
Yeah, that's
so. Let's do the odd.
So we are going to talk about something which has become very odd, which was the norm earlier. I'm talking about the institution of marriage. Now, if we look at कोई भी हम religion ले लें, चाहे हिंदू धर्म हो, चाहे इस्लाम हो, चाहे क्रिश्चियनिटी हो, चाहे कहीं, हर धर्म ये बोलता है कि marriage is an institution. But today it has become a very odd word, where a lot of people are saying that okay, I don't want to get married now. I'll defer it. मैं देखता हूँ, करता हूँ. I'm not ready. I'm not. I don't know if I'll find a compatible partner. It's become a sort of an odd topic now. But earlier in my days when I was growing up, I come from a generation where arranged marriages were the norm and marriage was the norm. कि लड़का अभी या लड़की जो भी है उम्र हो गई है तो शादी करा दो. So my question to you is that is marriage an institution?
See, let's think about in a different way. Marriage is not something which has come down from the heavens. Okay, वो किसने बनाया?
इंसान.
Humans, इंसान नहीं बनाया, right? क्यों बनाया? तो पहले के जमाने में शादी तो होती नहीं थी, लेकिन उस टाइम पे भी मर्द और औरतें एक साथ रहते थे. They had a lot of relationships within themselves. They were having sexual relationships with them. लेकिन कोई कमिटमेंट नहीं थी. जैसे आज मैंने अगर ये औरत के साथ कुछ संबंध बना दिया, कल वो औरत दूसरे मर्द के साथ जाएगी, मैं दूसरे औरत के साथ जाऊंगा। इस वजह से क्या होता था, देयर वाज अ लॉट ऑफ एनवी, लॉट ऑफ फाइट्स, लॉट ऑफ मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग्स, मिसगिविंग्स। और इसकी वजह से बहुत दफा फाइट्स तो होते थे, इवन वॉर्स हैव हैपेंड।
Yeah.
My wife or my partner has been taken by someone, or my partner is falling for someone else. तो that was the reason why humans decided कि हमको एक कुछ तो square चाहिए which will define humans relationship. That is how marriage as an institute came about. So is it bad? Absolutely no. Because उससे social order तैयार हुआ, उससे हायरार्की तैयार हुई, उससे लोगों का जो रिश्ता है वो उसके को जो नॉर्म्स थे वो नॉर्म्स फिक्स हो गए। जैसे एक मर्द है, एक औरत है, उन्होंने साथ में रहना है, उन्होंने साथ में रिलेशनशिप बनाना है, फिर वो सेक्सुअल हो, फिजिकल हो, इमोशनल हो, सोशल हो। और ये जब वो रिश्ता बनाते हैं तो वो रिश्ते से जो उनके प्रोजेनी या बच्चे पैदा होते हैं उनकी भी देखभाल वो दोनों मिलके कर सकते हैं। सो इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मैरिज वाज गुड फॉर नॉट जस्ट द टू पीपल हु वर देयर बट आल्सो फॉर द किड्स
एंड सोसाइटी एट लार्ज।
दैट इज द अदर थिंग। हर सोसाइटी को एक बेसिक यूनिट है, वो बेसिक यूनिट मेल और फीमेल था। वो यूनिट मैरिज इंस्टीट्यूट ने क्या किया, सीमेंट कर दिया कि एक मर्द, एक औरत, उनके बच्चे, उनके माँ बाप, उनके रिश्तेदार। सो द बेस यूनिट ऑफ सोसाइटी बिकेम अ फैमिली। सो देयरफॉर मैरिज एज एन इंस्टीट्यूट इज गुड because it brought order to the society. However, as the days progressed, this institute of marriage started becoming rigid. उसमें जो फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी थी वो गायब हो गई। वो क्यों बनी है यही समझना गायब हो गया। और फिर जैसे आपने कहा ना, बच्चे की उम्र हो गई, शादी कर डालो। एंड पीपल स्टार्टिंग गेटिंग मैरिड टू गेट मैरिड। मतलब मेरी एक क्या 20-25 उम्र हो गई, अभी शादी होनी है।
इट इज द नेक्स्ट स्टेप इन प्रोग्रेशन।
हाँ,
They
मतलब
would look at it that way.
but that is not the reason why you are getting married,
Correct.
right? And that is how actually the marriage of institution started to have issues. अगर वो मैरिज जो है वो आपको चाहिए इसलिए कर रहे हैं, then that institution will survive. बट अभी जो प्रॉब्लम्स हम देख रहे हैं वो इसी वजह से हो रहे हैं कि आप शादी क्यों कर रहे हो, यही क्वेश्चन नहीं है। अभी आपने पुराने जमाने की बात की तो उस टाइम पे क्या था कि माता पिता ने बोल दिया शादी करनी है, विदाउट क्वेश्चन द किड्स यूज्ड टू गेट मैरिड। नाउ व्हेन अभी भी माता पिता बोलते हैं अरे शादी कर दो, ही इज अ विटनेस टू इट।
Not yet.
अभी 20 का ही हुआ है, 21 के बाद कर देंगे।
या लीगल एज के बाद। so the moment you will approach him to get married, his first question will be why. Simple. He now has the opportunity to question you, जो आपके पास नहीं था।
बिल्कुल। In our times we could never.
क्यों? क्योंकि माँ बाप ने बोला है तो वो सही है। But these kids can question you. They will get married. I'll tell you. अभी ये कुछ भी बोले, he will get married if he is convinced कि आप जो रीजन दे रहे हो शादी करने का वो उसके अलाइनमेंट में है। If you are saying नहीं शादी करनी है because you are what 21, 24, 25, I don't think he'll think of marriage. But then we have to justify कि why is marriage good for you.
I wanted to just interject over here. जब मैं छोटा था, मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ। my father was having whiskey. मेरी दादी आई हुई थी। She was probably in her late 80s then. तो मैंने मैं 16-17 साल का था उस टाइम, तो शरारती था। तो पापा का विस्की का ग्लास रखा था, तो मैंने जब वो नहीं देख रहे थे एक सिप लिया जस्ट टू टेस्ट कि क्या है ये, क्या पापा क्या ले रहे हैं, क्या होता है इससे। तो माय दादी सॉ मी एंड इमीडिएटली शी टर्न टू माय फादर, हे हाय राम, इसने दारू वारू पी लिया, ये वो, इसको तुरंत इसका शादी करा दे, इसकी ब्याह करा दे। मतलब इन हरियाणवी लैंग्वेज शी सेड दैट इसका ब्याह करा दे। सो लाइक दैट एवरी टाइम 3-4 times in that 10 days I noticed that anything I would do, any शरारत, like कुछ भी तोड़ दिया फोड़ दिया, इसकी शादी करा दी, शादी करा दी. तो one day I went and asked my दादी कि भाई क्या हो रहा है, मतलब शादी कराने से मतलब क्या होगा, ये सब बंद हो जाएगा. तो शी सेइंग नहीं, शादी कराने के बाद ना शादी करने के बाद जिम्मेदारियां आ जाएंगी.
Okay.
So is that one of the reasons that can be used for justification of getting married, or what is the reason?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Hmm.
Absolutely not. देखो, कोई भी परेशानी हो, वो परेशानी शादी करने से दूर नहीं होती. शादी इज नॉट अ डू एंड एंड ऑल ऑफ इट. तो शादी करने से कोई परेशानी दूर नहीं होती. जैसे आपको बोला जिम्मेदारी. नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट योर थिंग कि आपके 80-year-old दादी ने आपको जिम्मेदारी आएगी इसलिए शादी कर दो. नाउ यू थिंक यू आर 17, 18, 19 years, आपकी जिम्मेदारी आपके माता पिता और दादी ले रहे थे. तो और एक अगर औरत आ गई आपकी जिंदगी में, उसकी जिम्मेदारी भी वही लेने वाले हैं. तो आपको कहां से जिम्मेदारी आ गई? बट जिम्मेदारी ये जो शब्द है ना, ये शब्द हम हमेशा बुरी नजर से देखते हैं कि मुझके ऊपर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, बर्डन है. नो, एक्चुअली रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इज गुड. व्हेन डज इट बिकम गुड? जब आप आपके ऐसे व्यक्ति की जिम्मेदारी लेते हैं जिसके बारे में आप बहुत प्यार करते हो या उसके बारे में आपको बहुत अच्छा लगाव होता है. उस टाइम पे दैट जिम्मेदारी डजंट बिकम अ बर्डन. It actually is something which you want to do, actually want to take care of them. It is just like, say you have a very good friend और वो friend का कहीं पे एक्सीडेंट हो गया and he calls you. तो ये तो जिम्मेदारी हो गई ना कि मेरे को उसको रिस्पॉन्ड करना है. मैं तो मेरा काम कर रहा हूं, बट आई लाइक दैट कि नहीं, मैं आई हैव टू गो. व्हाई? मुझे उसकी जिम्मेदारी लेनी है बिकॉज आई केयर फॉर दैट पर्सन. सो आई विल गो. सो ये जिम्मेदारी तो बर्डन नहीं होगी ना. आई विल वेस्ट माई लॉट ऑफ टाइम, एनर्जी, एफर्ट्स, मे बी पैसे. आई लूज माई वर्क, बट स्टिल आई विल फील हैप्पी एट द एंड ऑफ द डे. क्यों? क्योंकि मैंने मेरी जिम्मेदारी, माई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आई फुलफिल्ड. तो ये फुलफिल करना है तो बुरी बात नहीं है. So why do we always think of responsibility in a bad way?
Correct.
Responsibility is very good. I totally disagree. Marriage is a burden. No, marriage is not a burden. Marriage is a responsibility which you willingly take. जैसे अभी आपने बोला आपकी दादी का, you gave an example. So she was 80 years old, right? A few years, obviously she'll have some health issues, कुछ होंगे. तो will you say नहीं नाउ वो तो जिम्मेदारी है उनकी, मैं नहीं ले सकता भाई? नहीं कहोगे ना आप?
बिल्कुल नहीं.
तो आपने जिम्मेदारी ली ना.
बिल्कुल.
तो उसके लिए थोड़ी आपने शादी की. तो जिम्मेदार होना और शादी करना इसका कोई रिलेशन नहीं है. बट देन अगर आपको ऐसा कोई मिल रहा है जिसकी जिम्मेदारी लेना आपको बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, marry her.
But then the question is that then suppose I have 2 children now. I have him and I have my daughter. Abhi, if I have to explain to them why marry, what would you advise that I tell them that why should you marry?
Why should you advise?
Sorry?
Why should you advise?
As a parent, because what if they don't want to get married ever? Then what?
No. That's my basic क्वेश्चन टू द पेरेंट्स कि शादी आपको करनी है या अपने बच्चों को करनी है?
बच्चों को करनी है.
बराबर है. तो योर रोल इज रिस्ट्रिक्टेड और स्टॉप्ड एट टेलिंग देम ओके आई वुड लव यू गेटिंग मैरिड.
इफ दे आस्क मी व्हाई,
बिकॉज आई फील नाउ द फर्दर डिसीजन शुड नॉट बी इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय यू. अगर आप बोलोगे नहीं यही अच्छा है, यही बराबर है, यही सही है क्योंकि यही हमने किया है, यही मेरे दादा ने किया है, मेरे परदादा ने किया है, इसके लिए आप शादी करो, तो नो. सो गिव देम अ रीजन व्हाई द हेल डिड यू मैरी. आपने शादी क्यों की?
फॉर कंपेनियनशिप, फॉर नॉट बीइंग लोनली, फॉर बीइंग हैप्पी, फॉर थिंग्स टू शेयर विद समवन, टू वंडरफुल, टू अ ब्यूटीफुल लाइफ. या
दैट्स द रीजन यू एक्सप्लेन. Okay, now the question will be, he'll say, I'll get all these factors without marriage.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I'll get companionship without marriage. I'll get
I'm
friendship
losing this
without
debate
marriage.
already.
Huh?
I'm losing this debate already.
so, so obviously he'll say, right?
Yeah.
But then, see, marriage gives you some sort of companion who is always there with you
Right.
at all times, through thick and thin, with a commitment to be there with you. You can have the best of friends. You can have the best of girlfriends or boyfriends. But जब आप 24 घंटे एक दूसरे के साथ रहते हो, 24 घंटे एक दूसरे के साथ होते हो, तो आपका ये जो कमिटमेंट होता है ना, that commitment is much more stronger than anyone else. और ये कमिटमेंट सिर्फ सोसाइटी के प्रेशर से नहीं होता है. आप वो जो इंसान है, वो मर्द हो औरत हो, उसके बारे में हमेशा सोचते हो, उसको कैसे अच्छा लगे, मैं क्या और कर सकता हूं, मैं क्या और उसको दे सकता हूं, मैं और ये रिश्ता कैसे बढ़ा सकता हूं. दैट इज वाई मैरिज विल बी गुड. व्हेन यू एंटर इनटू व्हाटएवर, जैसे हम सिचुएशनशिप बोलते हैं या लिव इन बोलते हैं, इसमें सब कुछ मिलेगा. ऑल दीज थिंग्स विल हैपन. द बेसिक प्रीमाइसेस, ये जो बाकी के सब शिप्स है ना, एक्सेप्ट फॉर मैरिज रिलेशनशिप, ऑल दीज थिंग्स स्टार्ट विद द प्रीमाइस, हजम हो गया तो ठीक है, नहीं हुआ तो उल्टी कर दी,
छोड़ दो. हाँ.
राइट? मैरिज is the only institute which begins with the premise, come what may, till death do us apart. वो क्या है हॉलीवुड में
भी है.
हाँ,
7 जन्मों वाला भी चक्कर.
यस. सो द प्रीमाइस स्टार्ट्स विद दैट. इट्स नॉट कि हर रिश्ता 7 जन्मों तक टिकेगा. एक जन्म भी टिकना बहुत मुश्किल है. बट देन still the premise is that both of them are mentally into it कि ये रिश्ता हमको कंजर्व करना है.
Right.
It's not like देखते हैं, करते हैं, जमा तो ठीक है, नहीं जमा तो तोड़ देते हैं. So that is a wrong thing. आप कोई भी नई चीज करते हो, जैसे अभी आपने पॉडकास्ट चालू किया, आपने क्या माइंडसेट से चालू किया कि ये पॉडकास्ट से मैं कुछ तो अच्छा कर सकूंगा, मैं लोगों के लिए कुछ तो अच्छा हो सकूंगा, कुछ अच्छा कंटेंट दे सकूंगा. यही
प्लस और खुद भी सीखेंगे कुछ.
एग्जैक्टली. डिड यू स्टार्ट विद द कंसेप्ट कि देखते हैं, अच्छा लगा तो नहीं तो तोड़ देते हैं, आई एम गोइंग टू डू समथिंग बैड ओनली. ऐसे नहीं ना, बिकॉज यू आर पुटिंग योर ओन रेपुटेशन एट स्टेक. So you will always work to make it better.
If there is a commitment.
Yes.
Is what you're trying to say.
Yes. So the commitment starts with the premise of marriage. आगे कैसे लेना है? That is different.
Over to him.
Sir, so up till now, I have understood that there are mainly two methods mainly in which people meet each other to get married. Number one is the old school way, which is arranged marriage. And now there's a lot of love marriage. So why is there exactly so much confusion between the two?
See, arranged marriage and love marriage, these are two terms which we use conveniently. जैसे मेरे को कोई लड़की अच्छी लगी, I may propose to her, fall in love with her, have a courtship period, and then we can think of marriage. Now for that, the basic problem is that I have to meet a girl, or that girl has to meet a boy. Now where do I meet? Now that is one more question mark. ये जो आपका all these dating apps are there, these are publicized a lot. But those dating apps mostly are for hookups. You'll agree to that.
Yes.
They're not for long-term commitments. So then where do you meet? Do you meet them in a bar? Ridiculous. Because there no one is looking for a long-term thing. So then you look at people who are around you. Okay. Maybe your office, your school, your college, your groups. What is arranged marriage? You again look at finding a partner in the same groups. आपके ऑफिस में, आपके रिश्तेदारों में, आपके फ्रेंड सर्कल में, आपके पेरेंट्स के फ्रेंड सर्कल में, वही तो देखते हैं ना.
Correct.
So actually finding the person is the key. Whether you are finding it or your parents are finding it. Now, I hate the thing that when someone finds a partner and then without consulting anyone, they enter into a relationship. या जैसे अभी आप देख रहे हैं ना कि लव मैरिज करते और भाग जाते हैं. बहुत क्रेजी थिंग है. बहुत क्रेजी थिंग है. हमारे पेरेंट्स नहीं मानेंगे. पेरेंट्स तो मानेंगे नहीं, ठीक है ना. उनको मनाना आपकी जिम्मेदारी है. If you really feel that this person is right for me, then this person का जो credentials है वो आपको, आपके रिश्तेदारों को, आपके माता पिता को कन्विंस करना है, आपकी जिम्मेदारी है. It is not your parents' responsibility to agree to that. Same thing, अगर पेरेंट्स ने कोई पार्टनर ढूंढा है तो ये आपकी जिम्मेदारी है कि आप वो पार्टनर को जांचें, परखें, एक्सेप्ट करें या अनएक्सेप्ट करें. एंड द पेरेंट्स आल्सो शुड बी ओपन. सो इट्स ओनली अ वे ऑफ फाइंडिंग अ पार्टनर. लव कैन हैपन बिटवीन एनीवन. ऐसे नहीं है कि लव मैरिज किया तो ही प्रेम होता है, माता पिता ने ढूंढा तो प्रेम नहीं होता है. लव हैपन्स एट बोथ एंड्स. सो आई फील दैट द यंगर जनरेशन शुड बी फ्री टू एवरीथिंग, finding a partner on their own and not refusing your parents to find a partner for you. But at the same time, both the people, the parents and the kids, should be open to accepting each other's choices by studying. क्यों मैं बोलता हूं? दोनों का जनरेशन अलग है, दोनों की उम्र अलग है, दोनों का आउटलुक अलग है, दोनों को लाइफ में क्या चाहिए वो अलग है. So they will try to search for different qualities in their kids' partner. जैसे अगर यंग जनरेशन है तो यंगर जनरेशन क्या देखेगी? हाउ दैट पर्सन इज, एक्सटर्नल अपीयरेंस कैसा है, उसका बिहेवियर कैसा है, हाउ शी इज, ही और शी इज टॉकिंग विथ मी, और उनकी पर्सनैलिटी क्या है, मे बी अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ देयर एजुकेशनल गोल्स, maybe a little bit of their financial goals, maybe or little of what their family is, or little of where they are staying. But parents क्या देखेंगे? They'll think the exactly opposite.
Right.
उनकी फैमिली क्या है, फैमिली बैकग्राउंड क्या है, कहाँ रहते हैं, क्या कमाते हैं, क्या आउटलुक है जिंदगी का विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू मैरिज. सो ऑब्वियसली जब हमको एक पार्टनर चाहिए तो ये दोनों चीजें चाहिए ना. ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ लुक्स अच्छे हैं तो शादी कर दो, या सिर्फ पैसे हैं तो शादी कर दो. वी रिसेंटली हैड अ वेरी बैड experience in Pune with the dowry thing.
Yeah, so many cases all over India.
Exactly.
In that.
Means a financially stable family also having these issues.
Imagine that.
Very, very stable. नाम है, शोहरत है, पैसा है, फिर भी डाउरी है. So, only looking for money is not the option. Only looking for beauty is not the option. दोनों चीजें देखनी है. So, parents and the kids both have to unite in that search. Both cannot say मेरा ही बराबर है, I am only correct. And when both of them come on that same page, and then they can find an ideal partner for their kid. अभी क्या होता है, I'll tell you, especially अभी ये यंग जनरेशन जो है वो माता पिता से दूर रहती है. They live in different colleges, they go cities, they go countries, they go. तो माता पिता क्या करते हैं, अभी शादी करनी है ना, तो दे विल रजिस्टर देम इन सम मैरिज ब्यूरो, एंड देन वो मैरिज ब्यूरो से दे विल स्टार्ट शॉर्टलिस्टिंग कैंडिडेट्स, और वो शॉर्टलिस्टेड कैंडिडेट्स वो अपने किड्स को भेजते हैं. इज इट गुड?
I don't think so.
Why?
I mean, see, the parents if we go with the premise that the parents have the best of wishes and the best of thoughts for their children, then it's a great idea. But then sometimes I would say that first discuss it with the child before you're even starting this process.
Yeah,
That
but
are
then-
you open to it? Can we look for you? Like you said, they have to be on the same wavelength. You can't just shortlist on your own and send the other child the options. कि भाई ये options है. This is what my thought process is.
क्योंकि आप जब शॉर्टलिस्ट करोगे ना एज अ पेरेंट व्हेन यू शॉर्टलिस्ट यू विल शॉर्टलिस्ट देम अकॉर्डिंग टू योर विशेस.
According to yes.
आपको थोड़ी शादी करनी है.
हाँ कि मेरे को कैसे मतलब what kind of partner do I want for my child?
एग्जैक्टली
You will go to that level.
दैट थिंग ना.
Hmm.
सो वो आपके माइंडसेट से आप सोचोगे ना.
Hmm.
सो देयर कैन बी सम प्रपोजल व्हिच हैज कम व्हिच यू डोंट लाइक,
Hmm.
बट दैट प्रपोजल मे बी वेरी गुड फॉर योर किड
Hmm.
बिकॉज ही वांट्स दैट.
Hmm.
तो आप तो उसका चॉइस रिस्ट्रिक्ट कर रहे हो.
Hmm.
तो डोंट स्टार्ट निटपिकिंग योरसेल्फ.
Hmm.
आपके जो बच्चा है बच्ची है उसका भी क्या आइडिया है, क्या नहीं है, उनको क्या अच्छा लगता है, उनको जिंदगी में क्या गोल्स है. दैट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट.
Hmm.
योर गोल में भी कि इतना पैसा चाहिए, इतना कमाना है, ये करना है, इतना एजुकेशन चाहिए. योर किड में हैव अ वेरी आर्टिस्टिक एटीट्यूड एंड से कि मेरे को ऐसा पार्टनर चाहिए जो आर्ट्स में इंटरेस्टेड है, जिसको ड्राइंग आता है, पेंटिंग आता है, हु लव्स टू गो विद टू ऑन ट्रिक्स टू मी.
या
आप बोलोगे
पॉडकास्टिंग
यार-
आता है.
हाँ?
या पॉडकास्टिंग आता है.
so that will be totally different, right?
Hmm.
Means even just now the questions that you have and he has are totally
Yeah, they're
different.
completely different. Absolutely. Hmm.
Right. So, sir, do you really think that the way the partners meet really does matter today? And if so, then which method would you say that is better for society in general?
See, we already talked about how we should meet the partners.
Yes.
Okay, we meet the partners in our social circle. So it can be the kid themselves or the parents themselves. So always be open. Always be open to newer things. Always be open to searching. बहुत दफा क्या होता है ना, you start rejecting people without knowing yourself.
Hmm.
I always give an example, कि अगर समझो मुझे दीपिका पादुकोण से शादी करनी है. Fair enough, I can have that dream, right? I feel Deepika Padukone is the best wife for me. But if I have to marry Deepika Padukone and my height says 5 feet 2 inches, my weight is 100 kg, I want a wife who will be there with me 24 hours. Do you think Deepika Padukone will be a good fit for me? She'll not be fit for me as a physical appearance also, and she'll not be fit for me as a person whom I want to be with me 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because she is a very committed lady. She is doing her own job. She will have her own career
Goals,
path. So obviously I cannot dream of being a husband to her. So what I always feel is that first we should make our own self-marriage biodata.
Hmm.
And that biodata doesn't mean आपकी height कितनी है और weight कितना
हाँ,
है.
और क्या है qualifications क्या है, it doesn't mean that
Yes,
कि चाहते क्या हो.
exactly. So if I have to marry Deepika Padukone, I should be like Ranveer.
Hmm.
So if I am worth that, then yes, why not dream about it?
Hmm.
So first think what your aim is. I have so many couples, I'll tell you a very nice thing. I had a couple wherein that wife was an IS officer and the husband was a big businessman. He had some transport business with 400, 500, 600 trucks. Maybe earning more than the IS officer also.
Really?
But yeah, really. But then that husband education was what, 10th pass or 12th pass? Because it was a family business.
Correct.
And he was doing it excellently. Now both said, हाँ अच्छा है यार, वो IS ऑफिसर है, he is a big businessman, कितना अच्छी शादी हो गई, क्या हो गया, सब हो गया. 6 months into the marriage, they started fighting. The reason was, when they both used to meet at home after all this business and
Work, etc.
work, etc., The wife wanted to talk about whether Ukraine will stop sending drones to Russia, and does really Trump can interfere in India relationships. And the husband wants to talk about आज मेरा ये ट्रक ना होशियारपुर गया, वहां पे वो ड्राइवर ने क्या दंगा किया.
The intellectual compatibility is what you're trying to get at.
Exactly.
Right.
So that marriage absolutely failed. Not because of money, not because of anything, but then because they didn't
even have a conversation. They can't have a conversation.
They didn't make their own biodata. ये जो सेल्फ मैरिज बायोडाटा के बारे में मैं बोल रहा हूँ, इट इज दैट ओनली दैट यू शुड नो व्हाट यू आर, व्हाट इज माय कैपेसिटी, व्हाट आई एम केपेबल ऑफ. If I want a partner who should be there with me 24/7, I can't imagine of marrying a doctor. क्योंकि वो तो 24 घंटा कभी भी जा सकता है. I can't expect my partner to be there for my birthday or my parents' birthdays or for some religious function. My partner may go. उसको अगर इमरजेंसी आ गई तो वो भाग जाएगा. So am I willing for it? If I'm willing, fantastic. If not, then doctors are out of the question for me. Na?
Correct.
If I want, so what I want is more important. And then you search for something in the other part. हम हमेशा क्या करते हैं, दो you will see those ads ना, brides wanted, grooms wanted,
Yes.
and you tell about what you want. I तो want to be earning like Bill Gates. But do I have the potential to be Bill Gates? That we don't think. So making your own self-marriage biodata, understanding yourself, understanding what your capacity is the first step of searching for a partner. You will find a partner anywhere. But start by understanding what you want. I have so many parents who come to me and say कि ये हमारी लड़की है, इसको इंग्लैंड वाला शोहर चाहिए. बोला ओके फाइन ग्रेट, इंग्लैंड वाला शोहर चाहिए, तो इसका एजुकेशन से वो इंग्लैंड को कैसे जाएगी, ये आपने सोचा है? नहीं, वो तो पता नहीं, लेकिन चाहिए तो शोहर इंग्लैंड का चाहिए. वो वीजा नहीं, वो नहीं पता. उसका खर्चा कितना आएगा, नहीं वो नहीं पता,
पर चाहिए
वो. तो दैट इज रॉन्ग. इट्स नॉट wrong to have a partner in the UK, but are you worth that? Have you thought over it?
What do you bring to the table?
Yes. That is more important. That is self-marriage biodata. And that happens in every aspect. Not just your looks, your education, your emotional attachment and things. You may want a joint family. But your partner may not like it. Then what do? You have to talk about it. It extends to every aspect of your life. Having kids, not having kids, having friends, being friendly with your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend.
These are all issues, yeah.
Yeah, there are so many issues. So many issues.
I had a question which is related to all this, where you said that there's a lot of compatibility that is required to make a marriage work. I'm getting into like why marriages are failing today. So there are, like, we sort of tried to pinpoint that there are two ways that people look at getting married: arranged marriage and love marriage. And you said that actually they are more or less sort of, there is a lot of commonality between both. Fair enough. But then there are a lot of love marriages where the boy and girl have not told their parents married, and then within 6-8 months, a year, 2 years, they divorce. So, and around me also we are seeing that a lot of arranged marriages also that have worked very well for 20 years, 25 years are now sort of looking at, ending their relationships and converting it into an open relationship, or saying that, okay, I don't want to remain married now. So why is the institution of marriage now breaking down today? What are the reasons for that?
See, in the traditional sense, if we think of love marriage, a boy and a girl come together. They have a courtship period. In that courtship period, they don't meet very frequently. Even if they meet daily, they always bring their best behavior forward. हाँ, आप जब भी आपके गर्लफ्रेंड को या बॉयफ्रेंड को मिलने जाओगे तो आप बराबर शर्ट पैंट लिपस्टिक सब पहन के जाओगे, राइट? हाँ, एकदम। हाँ, विल यू गो इन योर पजामाज, टूटा हुआ फटा हुआ टी शर्ट में जो आप घर पे पहनते हो? नहीं जाओगे ना। तो लव मैरिज में यही होता है ना, यू ऑलवेज सी द गुड साइड of that person.
The best side rather.
Yes. What they want to show. But that is something which fails when you get married. फिर क्या होता है? फिर आपको उसके बनियान का होल दिखने लगता है. वो सुबह में ब्रश करते समय कितना आवाज करता है आपको सुनाई देता है.
फ्लश नहीं करता.
So start interacting with each other 24/7 and you start seeing things which you have never seen or you have not been shown. And that is why majority of the love marriages, or I would say majority of marriages, have a rocking first year. Because you are trying to understand the other person in a way which you have never thought will happen. You never think of your partner's very intimate things which will happen with you.
So there are surprises basically you're saying.
Yes, there are surprises galore in a love marriage. Why? Because you always seen the good part of it. And then if you are not amenable to it, then that creates problems. Like I had a couple wherein वो जो लड़का था वो एक चौल में रहता था. वेरी स्मॉल हाउस, 1 रूम या 2 रूम का घर था. हिज पेरेंट्स यूज्ड टू लिव, ही यूज्ड टू लिव, हिज सिस्टर, यंगर सिस्टर वाज देयर, ही यूज्ड टू लिव. 4 ऑफ देम यूज्ड टू लिव. 2 या 3 रूम का ही घर था, एकदम छोटा था, चौल. नाउ दिस बॉय फेल इन लव विद अ गर्ल. दैट गर्ल वाज फ्रॉम अ वेल टू डू फैमिली विथ ऑल हम्बम ऑफ मनी. Now she knew that his parents were not very rich. She'll have to marry and adjust over there. But वो प्यार का वो ये रहता है ना, ऑरा. तो उसकी वजह से बोला, नो आई विल डू एवरीथिंग, आई विल टेक केयर ऑफ एवरीथिंग, आई लव यू, फॉर लव आई विल डू एनी सैक्रिफाइस वगैरह वगैरह से चालू हो गया. गॉट मैरिड. पहली रात को ही देयर वाज अ बिग फाइट. Because that house was very small, log the, they couldn't get privacy which she was expecting. He was comfortable because he was living in that house for what, 20, 25, 30 years. शादी का झगड़ा पहले रात से चालू हो गया. When they came to me for counseling, that was the time when I had to talk with the girl. And I told her कि yes, you have had a fight on the first day, immediately after your marriage, without actually even trying to understand whether his parents are good or bad or ugly. If you want to separate, then you made a very poor decision. But then now that you have done a decision, why don't you give it some time to understand whether you really like it or no? Otherwise the option तो है ही ना, separate तो हो सकता है. And to my surprise, what happened is the boys' parents, they were so caring. They had a very good reputation in their society. They were really good people, helpers. Everyone used to flock to their house for advice. They used to give a lot of advice to people and all that stuff. And this girl actually started liking the in-laws.
How nice.
So much so that she actually started living in that house when that husband ने एक दूसरा घर भी देख लिया था कि हम दोनों अलग रहते हैं. She said, no, I want to live with them. So you have to give yourself some time. That is the major reason why these love marriages or marriages in the first year fail. The other aspect which we were talking about was that there are certain marriages which last for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. And then they start, crumbling
they
down.
become rocky, and then what happens is that then all the bad stuff comes out. Then both the sides go out and they start talking all the choicest of bad things that have happened in their last 20 years, where they projected as that, oh, I've just suffered for 20 years.
Yes.
You know, या तो मैं बच्चों के कारण टिके हुए थे, अब बच्चे बड़े हो गए, now I'm like ready to, you know, this, that, I want to explore some other person, whatever. That's what's happening in a lot of the marriages today.
So actually, this is what something we coin a term as grey divorce. So people who are married for a long period of time and now they are separating, that is something which we call as a grey divorce. तो इसमें होता क्या है कि शादी की शुरुआत में दोनों काफी एडजस्ट करते हैं फॉर मल्टीपल रीजंस. वन, एज आई सेड ना, मैरिज का प्रिमाइस ही होता है कि हमको 7 जन्म एक साथ रहना है. तो दे एडजस्ट विदाउट देयर विश, विदाउट देयर वांट, विदाउट देयर नीड, एडजस्ट करते हैं. बट अंदर से उनको कुछ ना कुछ तो तकलीफ चालू ही रहता है. एंड देन फॉर XYZ रीजन, फिर बच्चे हैं, पैसे नहीं हैं, सोसाइटी का प्रेशर है, इफ आई सेपरेट क्या होगा, ऐसे सब फालतू रीजंस के लिए दे स्टे टुगेदर. एंड देन वन फाइन डे
It snaps.
and that actually creates more problems, not just for them but for the entire people around them. So yes, divorce I don't think is a bad word, but again, why you separate should also be thought about
Logically.
Yep. It can't be that नहीं मेरे को ये चीज अच्छी नहीं लगी तो I'm separating. Now I get many couples who say we are not compatible, so we are separating. Now compatible means what? There is no answer to them. नहीं मेरे को अगर चाइनीज खाना है तो उसको कॉन्टिनेंटल खाना है. This is not compatibility.
That's very stupid.
This is not compatibility. So compatibility actually means that yes, whatever your ideas are, your goals are, they are not aligning with that person. Or that other person is always trying to subdue your goals, not allowing you to grow in the relationship. देखो आप रिलेशनशिप में क्यों जाते हो? मैं let's think. Forget this marriage and everything. I'll ask both of you a question. Why do you want a relationship?
I would want a relationship for happiness and joy and sharing those little moments, having a witness to your life, having companionship, not being lonely. There are so many reasons why one would enter into a relationship. It could be sex, it could be, there's so many things.
So honestly, for me right now, I'm not looking for a relationship because I'm not in that stage of life yet, according to myself. But from what I hear from most of my friends, they are looking for something that's sort of better than their current life, because they want something that a person who will bring more solutions than more problems. And the problem is the exact opposite is happening everywhere.
That's a very good answer.
So that's what I see.
See, when I was talking about relationship, you immediately started thinking about a girl or a boy or a wife or something.
Yes.
The relationship that you share with your father, why do you need this relationship? Why do you need this? You need a relationship for your self-worth, for your self-growth. That is the basic reason why you need a relationship. If I think that doing a certain thing in a certain way is good, if I'm going to think only myself, I will always feel कि हाँ यही ऐसे ही करना है, ऐसे ही होगा, यही अच्छा है. When I get an opinion from someone else, then I will start thinking कि नहीं, this can be done in a different way, which can also be good. So there my self-growth happens. See, dictator is never good. Is never good. XYZ, any dictator is not good. Why? Because he always thinks his way or the highway.
Correct.
And he'll always fail. Some may take a day, some may take 50 years, but they'll fail. This is bad. That is why you need a relationship wherein you are open to ideas from someone else. That person is open to ideas from you, and your thinking will come together to make something better. Maybe different ideas, maybe different ways to achieve the same goal, maybe different goals. And that will help you grow in life. But that's why I think I need any relationship.
Hmm.
It can be a father-son relationship like you. Just like you are learning from your father's learning from you. It may be a relationship between two friends or a girlfriend or a boyfriend. When you talk about a girlfriend-boyfriend relationship which is actually stifling them, actually not letting them grow, उनको बढ़ने का मौका नहीं दे रहा है, तो ये तो नाता अच्छा नहीं है.
बिल्कुल.
Then that relationship has to stop.
Hmm.
But I have seen younger generation, the older generation, na, they are financially independent, they are socially independent, they can take brickbats.
Hmm.
आपका जो यंगर जनरेशन है ना, they have a lot of peer pressure. मतलब अगर मेरी कोई गर्लफ्रेंड है ना और नहीं जम रहा है, झगड़े हो रहे, that person is not good for me, समझता है, I still continue with that relationship. क्यों? Peer pressure. अगर ब्रेक हुआ, still will be in the same college, same office, बाकी के क्या बोलेंगे? How will I explain to my friends? No. Will I get another girlfriend or boyfriend? आगे की relationship को problem आएगा. What will people start thinking about me? So they continue in that abusive relationship,
Right.
understanding that it is not going to help them grow. So I appeal to anyone who really has a toxic relationship, they must take firm decisions. It's not bad to break a relationship. Again, we come to the same point that I say. Why break it? That is the answer. If you find, yes, this relationship is not helping me grow, it has to be broken. There's no harm in it. I am not of the opinion that you continue in a relationship which is not good for you. It can be an abusive relationship. See, abuse happens in multiple forms. We feel abuse means a slap. No.
It could be mentally torturing.
Physical harm person can tolerate. See, just off the record, I just remembered a case, there was a couple. They were from a very modest family. The husband was a drunkard. He used to drink. रोज दारू पीता था और घर पे आके बीवी को मारता था. तभी 2-3 times that woman came to me, said नहीं वो बहुत मारता है, ये होता है. तो I said okay, if you want I'll help you file a complaint and then you can file for a divorce and separate. तो सब मैं सोच के बोलती हूँ. बीच में कुछ 1-2 महीना गया. 2 महीने के बाद वो मेरे पास वापस आई. सो आई सेड हाँ, नाउ शी इज मेड अ डिसीजन, लेट्स, मेरा एक फ्रेंड है जो लॉयर है, तो कनेक्ट हर टू हर. वो आई, वो बोली सर मेरा अभी प्रॉब्लम अलग है. क्या? मैं हस्बैंड जो है ना वो मुझसे प्यार नहीं करता है. वो तो ऑब्वियस है ना, वो मारता था आपको. नहीं 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 नहीं, अभी क्या हो गया है ना, वो मुझे मारता नहीं है. इसका मतलब उसका प्यार मुझसे कम हो गया है. इसका मतलब देयर इज समवन इन हिज लाइफ नाउ.
अच्छा.
वो मारता था मींस ही वाज एक्चुअली लविंग मी.
Wow.
So
Again, then that is basically not being clear on your thought process.
yes,
right?
yes. So abuse can be in multiple forms. ये छोड़ दो, ये this joke you leave apart. But then abuse can be in multiple forms.
Absolutely.
It cannot be only physical. It is much more psychological or mental, as we call it.
And that's worse.
That is very bad. It can be sexual. Sexual abuse between partners is the most hidden thing you can imagine. I've had couples who deny outright that my partner sexually abuses me, because they feel that it is because there is something lacking in them that my partner is abusing me. There is something which I cannot fulfill of my partner's demands. That is why my partner is forced to abuse me. This also happens with many extramarital relationships. If one partner has an extramarital relationship, the other partner feels that मुझ में कमी है,
हाँ,
मुझ में कमी है, इसके लिए मेरा पार्टनर दूसरे
के पास जा रहा है. Correct.
So this thought process is wrong. This is not what should be the thought process. I had a couple in which the husband had an extramarital affair and the wife had the same thought process कि मुझ में कमी है. तो she was okay with the husband having a extramarital affair.
अच्छा.
She used to take the husband in her car, go to the husband's girlfriend's house.
Really?
The husband and the girlfriend used to go in the bedroom. She used to sit outside watching Oddcast show. Jokes apart. and then she used to drive the husband back home.
Wow.
So when she came to me, I thought she has come to me for separation. But she had come to me she said, I want counseling wherein I will be more liked by my husband. Which is a very wrong thought process. Very wrong thought process. The husband was actually exploiting his wife and getting things what he was doing.
And getting away with it.
Yes. So this is the worst form of abuse. This doesn't help you grow. So why do you want a relationship? Is again, grow.
But since like you mentioned, Doc, that, marriage is a wonderful institution and it was made by humans, etc. It's for the betterment of society, etc., etc. You mentioned all that very clearly and I agree with that a lot. My question here is that what makes a relationship work of marriage? Now, you mentioned there has to be intellectual compatibility where both the people can have a conversation on any one topic or whatever it is. Then there has to be so many other compatibilities. There's so many, you drop your egos, you have to put up with some habits of the other, of your spouse, etc. Like we mentioned, little things like, even in the toilet, while sleeping, what hours do you sleep, what time do you go to bed? These can also become what I hear from a lot of friends around me that, these are problems that they highlight now for separation. Now, there is another thing that is very important, which is sexual compatibility. And I want to just sort of get in touch on that. How important is that and how can this be resolved? Because, in most arranged marriages, both the groom and the bride, they always say, we never had a chance to explore each other sexually, before marriage. In a love relationship, you have a courtship period where it's a little bit more open nowadays, where you probably had sex before marriage and you found out that, okay, you are compatible or not. But in arranged marriages, that situation or the option was never there before. Maybe it's there now, I don't know. But in my time, it was never there. So how important is sexual compatibility and how does one fix it if it's not compatible to keep the relationship working?
See, I always feel the basis of a marriage is sex. You marry to have a committed, dedicated and available partner. Baseline.
Okay.
Now, for that sex to become enjoyable, to become satisfactory, you need two things. One is physical intimacy, and more than that, you need emotional bonding.
The chemistry, you mean?
The emotional bonding,
Okay.
not the chemistry.
Okay.
Not the chemistry, not the physical, what positions you take and what stupid things you do in bed. It's the emotional intimacy that is more important. I'll give you an example just to clarify. If I go to a sexual worker and I can have a sex with her, right?
Correct.
Will it be satisfying? Momentarily? Because I have just had some explosion, it will be momentarily satisfied. Do people... Now, having a sex worker is easy, right? No commitment, nothing. Paisa feko.
Yeah, no strings attached.
No strings attached. So, why don't people then always have sexual relationship with a sex worker? Why do they want someone whom they marry or they have as a girlfriend or in a situationship or in a live-in relationship? Why do they want a girl or a boy in a relationship? Because with a sex worker, you never have the emotional bonding,
Correct.
the intimacy.
Hmm.
It is only the physical part.
Hmm.
It's only the physical part.
Correct.
What makes sex enjoyable with the same person over and over again, day in, day out, every night for what, 20, 30, 50 years, is not your physical things.
Hmm.
आपके पार्टनर के बारे में तो आपको सब पता होता है, कौन सा तिल किधर है, कितना बड़ा हुआ है, क्या हुआ है, ये तो समझ में आता है over a period of time. But
Absolutely.
still, you actually have sex with that same person again and again. Why? It's not just physical. Sex is never physical. Sex is always emotional. जब तक आपको आपके सेक्स पार्टनर से वो इमोशनल इंटीमेसी नहीं होती ना, जब तक आप अपने पार्टनर के साथ इतना सहज तरीके से सेक्स नहीं करते हो, जितना आप खुद को, आई विल से, इमोशनली नंगा नहीं करते हो. You have to be naked emotionally.
Yeah.
When you become emotionally naked, you will start enjoying that process, and in turn, you'll make your partner also enjoy it. And that happens when both of them are in a relationship. Sex is satisfying only when both of them enjoy. अगर ऐसे हुआ, एक enjoy कर रहा है, एक,
Then it's mechanical. Then nothing.
both will not enjoy.
Yeah.
Both will not enjoy.
True.
It becomes enjoyable when both of them want it. So that way it is selfish, but that way it is altruistic. So that is how sex in any relationship is important. And that is how it can never get boring, even after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years.
Right.
Fair enough.
Right. So, sir, I wanted to ask about this sort of myth that I've read about long time back, where they said that if a boy and a girl are best friends for a very long time, they should marry each other instead of finding girlfriends and boyfriends and marrying them, because they have sort of seen each other in an emotionally vulnerable state when they're together. Suppose they are playing a sport, then that competitiveness comes. Or if they're playing a video game, then again that competitiveness comes. And the risk of divorce decreases by some number. Is that true?
So you want to say that if we are good friends, we should marry.
Yes.
If we are not good friends, we should not marry.
Yeah.
But then why do both the friends want to marry in the first place? When they ask these questions to themselves, if they want to marry just because they are friends, I don't think that's a valid reason or the only reason. It should also mean that whether we can connect on multiple levels. We are friends. We have seen each other through thick and thin. We know each other in and out. But does that transcend into being with each other 24/7? Am I able to not just criticize the quirks of my partner, but also support him through thick and thin? Am I ready to accept him without thinking that I'll try to change that person? Am I able to adjust to whatever thought process he has or she has? And it applies to both of them. So both of them, if they are willing to adjust to each other, willing to make things work for each other, then whether you're friends or no friends, it doesn't make a difference. So criteria of choosing a life partner should be based on multiple factors, not just one basic thing. And that also involves what your parents think. It need not be only you. Because as I said, your thought process will be unidirectional. एक ही दिशा में जाओगे. वही दिशा सही है, वही बराबर है, वही सब कुछ है.
Correct.
But when someone else brings a new thing, it may be your parents, it may be your friends, it may be your colleagues, it may be Dadi Maya, 80 years. That thing will always help you grow. And the main thing is, See why arranged marriages में divorce rate कम है. I told you one thing is कि arranged marriages में ना there is a lot of involvement of the in-laws.
It's actually two families, right?
So whenever there is a conflict between the bride and the groom, the families try to intervene.
Yes.
And the families try to say do counseling for them, try to help them navigate the issues. But when they two marry without a lot of involvement of the families, what happens is they are left to separate and correct their differences on their own. मतलब मेरा और आपका झगड़ा हो रहा है तो झगड़ा बंद कैसे करने का ये हमको ही ढूंढना है. That becomes very difficult, na? Because I will always feel I am right. You will always feel you are right. We both may be right. Someone else has to come in between
And mediate.
and tell you that, okay, you are right, but I am also right.
But what if their mediation comes in the wrong way? For example, I have seen a movie like Dil Dhadakne Do. Usme their intervention is based only on monetary demands. They are saying that usse shaadi karo, I'll give you your plane back. ऐसा है. So what do you think about that?
Yes. So, who interferes is very important. Very, very important. I have seen marriages break down because in-laws interfere in the kids' lives.
And in day-to-day terms.
Day-to-day terms. I had a recent case wherein that mother-in-law used to ring up the groom, मतलब उसके लड़के को क्या खाया, तो बोला ब्रेकफास्ट में मैंने पोहा खाया. Then that mother-in-law used to ring up the बहू, आज पोहा बनाया आपने? हाँ पोहा बनाया. मेरा लड़का पोहा खाता ही नहीं है. Every day he eats bread and omelette.
तो खा लिया उसने लेकिन already.
Now that is different. That is different. So, who interferes and in what capacity they interfere and with what intention they interfere is very important. If you are going to interfere, जो interfere करने वाला है उसका कोई agenda है, that's bad. Then that's not the right person to interfere. See, unfortunately in our country we have a very bad outlook about counseling. Marriage counseling especially. Counseling बोले तो mediation as you are thinking of कि कोई तो interfere कर रहा है. तो we think of it कि counselor को पास गए तो कुछ तो mental problem है. But
that's the norm, yeah.
Yeah, that's the norm. But counseling is not because you have a problem. Counseling is to help you understand that problem. वो प्रॉब्लम क्या है समझना चाहिए, फिर उसके ऊपर क्या सॉल्यूशन हो सकते हैं,
उसका
हो सकते हैं. द काउंसिल विल नॉट गिव यू वन कि हाँ हमारा झगड़ा है चलो शेक हैंड करो खत्म करो. नो, द काउंसिल में ऑफर यू डिफरेंट थिंग्स, different ways in which you can end that fight. Now you have to choose how you will end it. Counsel will also tell you why that fight is not good for both of you. Why you need to stop that fight. So if at all there is a problem, you need an intermediary. That intermediary, the first step can be your close family, but the next step can be a counselor, should be a counselor, who will be a third party without any motive to bring you together.
Without any biases also, technically.
Yes. Because always, see, I will never say my son or my daughter is bad, na? But I always say my son's wife is bad, my daughter's husband is very bad.
True.
मेरा तो बच्चा लाडला है ना.
नहीं, वो तो दूध का दूल्हा है.
हाँ, वो तो means I have had parents.
वो तो ये कर ही नहीं सकता ये.
हाँ, I have had parents who say their 40-year-old जो लड़का है, नहीं वो तो छोटा है ना, उसको कुछ समझता नहीं अभी तक. अरे इज रनिंग अ कंपनी, इज अर्निंग, इज मैनेजिंग द फैमिली. नहीं, वो रिश्ते का समझता नहीं उसको.
True.
That's wrong.
Right.
So this interference or this intervention is not going to work.
Yeah.
Right. So, sir, I had a question about a certain kind of society. I don't know if this is exactly true, but I've heard that in France, people, a man and a woman get married, and then after a certain time, when they get bored of each other, because that's a very big thing nowadays, people get bored of anything very easily. And when the couple gets bored of each other, then they basically approve of extramarital affairs for each other, and they will only go ahead if the partner approves of the external person. What do you think about that?
So basically, you're talking about either partner swapping or couple exchanges and all that stuff. See, first and foremost, does a thing which is done repeatedly get boring? Yes. It's as simple as that. कि अगर मैंने आपको रोज जलेबी खाने को दिया every day in, day out, you'll get bored after some time, right? So like that, when you are in a relationship with someone day in, day out for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, you'll get bored. But that is the time when you have to keep on working on your relationship. Relationship is not a solid rock. It is a shifting dynamic.
It's fluid.
Yes. It's a shifting dynamic. The dynamics change. You can't say कि हाँ मैंने मेरे पार्टनर के साथ ये किया था, अभी वो हो गया, अभी हमारा रिश्ता 7 जन्मों तक वैसे ही रहेगा. No. You have to keep on working on your relationship. If you stop working on your relationship, you will start getting bored. You have to reinvent yourself. You have to change. And this usually happens in long-standing relationships. You start doing the same old rut. It can be the communication gets defunct. Communication comes down to what? आज क्या खाना बनाया है, आज क्या खाया है, आज कितने बजे खाओगे, आज घर कब आओगे, आज ऑफिस कब जाओगे, बच्चों का ये करना है, लाइट का बिल भरना है. एंड ऑल द मुंडेन थिंग्स, जो रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी का काम है, वही बात करोगे आप. दैट इज बैड. दैट इज ब्रेकडाउन ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन. अगर ये होता है ना, then this relationship is not going to work. Then you are going to search for different things with different people. So boredom is brought on in a relationship by both of you. So you have to reinvent. It also means that you have to reinvent yourself sexually also. Every aspect. It may be sexual aspect, it may be emotional aspect, social aspect. The way you interact with each other, the way you talk with each other, the way you dress, the way you go out. That will reduce your boredom. Otherwise, you'll start searching for alternatives.
Yes.
I always ask the question, extramarital affairs क्यों होते हैं? Just because the other partner is more beautiful? I'll tell you, majority of the extramarital affairs happen with people who are not beautiful. Physically. They happen out of the need for
Change.
Emotional relationship.
And to get out of the boredom, right? Because the boredom is emotional.
Yes. There's no communication.
Fair enough. I agree with you.
Extramarital affairs होते हैं when you are not getting that communication, you are not getting that bond in your existing relationship. और बाहर का एक कोई आता है and he says, oh wow, so nice, so beautiful, praise you for a little bit.
हो गया.
It gets sparked. Because जब बहुत साल एक आधा रिलेशन होता है ना, तो स्टार्ट टेकिंग योर पार्टनर फॉर ग्रांटेड. आपको समझ में आता है कि ये चीज यहाँ पे रखनी है, मेरे पार्टनर को यहीं पे अच्छी लगती है तो मैं रख दूंगा. आई विल नॉट थिंक आई विल डू इट. मेरे पार्टनर को ये अच्छा लगता है वही करूंगा, नहीं अच्छा लगता है करूंगा नहीं. सो स्टार्ट टेकिंग ईच अदर फॉर ग्रांटेड. हाउ माई पार्टनर विल रिएक्ट, ग्रांटेड, आई नो इट. बट सो यू डोंट ट्राई न्यू थिंग्स एंड दैट क्रिएट्स.
I think my cameraman is waving frantically that we have crossed an hour more. We have actually we've lasted more than normal modern marriages are lasting today. So actually, this one question is very important, which I want to end the podcast with. We'll have a small, quick round of rapid fire questions that we've newly inculcated into the podcast. But my final question to you is that before you came, I actually was very intrigued by this question and I Googled it. What is the right age to marry? And religion wise, everyone had their own thoughts, processes, etc., and all that. But what, according to you, is the right age to marry, and why?
So, to answer your question of age of marriage, see, age of marriage can be defined by multiple factors. If you ask medically to me, I'll say, yeah, jo 23, 24 years, you're matured physically, all the organs are well developed. That may be the right time, because ultimately, marriage, we think about having kids,
Yeah.
and it should not damage you sexually or physically. So medically that can be the age. Legally आप बोलोगे तो इंडिया में अभी है कि लड़के का 21 साल, लड़की का 18 साल. That can be a legal age. But if you ask me a question कि ये सब बाजू छोड़ के आपको अगर socially marriage करना है तो कब करना है? So now that question comes is when you are ready to accept a new partner in your life. What are your ideas about having someone in your life 24/7 wherein you can take care of them and that partner can take care of you? I've seen so many people marrying for the wrong reasons. Like, I'm going to the US for some study. I'll not be back for next 3 years. So let's marry or do an engagement just now, and then 3 साल के बाद आके शादी करता हूँ. Why? No, that's not the reason for you to marry. But definitely you should not marry before the legal age and the medical age, what I'm saying. But after that, you have to first understand whether you are willing to accept someone in your life who is going to influence you, who is going to maybe change your perspective about life, maybe even try to influence your goals in life. Money is not the concern. Because money is never enough. A person who earns 100 rupees a day will also be satisfied, and one who earns maybe 10 lakh a day will not be satisfied. So it's not money, but it is the time when you both are willing to make the sacrifices to make this relationship work. Your goals must be aligned. If one person is going to, after marriage, going to go to a different city, and the other person is going to live in another city after marriage, it makes no sense. I've had couples wherein the husband is staying on the east coast of Africa and the wife is staying on the west coast of Africa. They're not married. So this is the thing which you should understand, why you want to marry. At the same time, it should not be at a very late age wherein you are going to have issues to get children. Or you're going to have some physical or medical diseases which are going to hamper you. And the majority of the growth in your life is going to happen at 23 to 30, 32 years of age. That is the time when you are going to have your ideas develop. That is the time when you are going to have growth, not just in your career, but also in emotionally, your mental growth, all those things. Your ideas are going to be fixed. So that is the ideal time when you can get a different perspective. So there is no straight answer whether to marry at 23 or 25 or 29 or 30. But you have to ask yourself, are you ready for it? Are you willing to accept someone? Is it feasible for you to accept someone? And if it's feasible for you, no age is bar. No age is bar.
Except legal.
Yes, except legal.
But I think you've given me a lot of clarity on this, because this was a question that I was myself thinking. That, first of all, why marry? And secondly was, what's the right age to marry? So I think thank you so much for that. And we are going to quickly bother you with some quick rapid fire questions. Sued, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's hit
My
it.
God.
Okay, so
That's scary.
Not as scary as today's marriages. Don't worry, it's very easy.
First question: love marriage or arranged? What's more difficult to fix?
Marriage.
One red flag in arranged matches.
Interference.
Okay. Biggest myth about love marriages?
Love persists.
Romantic love or practical love?
Both, no.
Both no.
Both, no.
Okay.
They have to be a combination of both.
Okay.
Most overhyped quality in a spouse.
Responsibility.
One thing that most couples forget after their wedding.
They're two different individuals.
Who gives better relationship advice, mom or therapist?
I think we answered that question. A non-interfering person is always good, whether it's a parent or a counselor.
Can a marriage survive without love?
Define love, because love can mean a lot many things. It can be taking care of someone. It can be loving someone in a way which is very practical, helping them. But obviously, there has to be some bond for the marriage to survive. Otherwise, it is going to end up. There has to be some bond.
Sure.
If you call love is one part of the bond, not just love. Love alone cannot make you survive. You will need a lot of bonding and compatibility.
Bollywood's biggest lie about marriage.
Marriages are made in heaven. you have to keep working on them, you have to keep working on them.
One question everyone must ask before saying yes.
Am I ready for it?
So that's a question to yourself then.
Yep. Yes. You question yourself. You question your thoughts, your concepts, your ideas, because they will change, and they change over a period of time.
Absolutely. But I really enjoyed this podcast, and I think that there's so much more to talk about. In fact, just about there's another topic that's coming on my mind, but I'll discuss it with you offline for another podcast. But thank you so much for coming on the Oddcast show. I hope you enjoyed it. Any advice that you would like to give? Any odd advice to young couples out there who are looking at tying the knot?
The younger generation, I would just simply tell them, be open. Don't take your relationship for granted. Don't take your partner for granted. Be open to ideas. Think before you leap, without jumping in and out of relationships. Because relationships can make you, at the same time they can break you. So think before you leap.
So it's okay to be a little odd and not just perfect all the time. Also.
I really don't believe there is anything that is ideal in this world.
True.
So don't search for your ideal partner. Search for your compatible partner.
Right.
That will help your relationship grow and you to grow as a person.
Very well put, sir. Very well put. Thank you so much, and namaskar, sir.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it. Hope your Oddcast show becomes a bigger and bigger success.
With your blessings, it will. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Today's episode was great for me because I got to learn so much about the institution of marriage and why exactly is it even an institution, what it means for society, and I also have a fair idea of what age to start thinking about marrying.
So folks, if you liked this episode today and you felt it's beneficial, please like, share, subscribe to our channel, and please share it with your friends and family. Thank you so much for watching, and namaste.